Okay, hello and good day to everyone. That is really tuning in here at the Sphere Rocket Podcast Network. Once again, I'm going to be the host for today's episode. My name is Dwayne, and with me today is Brian, listing and transactions coordinator. Well, we'll get to know what's the specifics of his job role. But for now, Brian, how are you doing today? And what do you think is the best city that you've been to?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much, Dwayne. The best city that I've been to is Baguio City. It's a summer capital of the Philippines, and I've enjoyed my stay there for a week.
Is it because of the cold weather or because of the places that you've been to there?
I think the culture itself is it's not just about the weather. It's the culture itself. The Igorot there are very friendly. All of the locals there, you can always reach out or approach them anytime.
Yeah, to those who doesn't know, Baguio City is perhaps the coldest cities in the Philippines. Like in the Philippines, the normal temperature ranges from like 30 to 35 degrees on average. But in Baguio, it can go as low as like below 10 degrees, which is really cold. Like, yeah, it's gonna feel like you're not in the Philippines anymore. But because it's a city up in the mountains, so yeah, that's some Philippine facts about you guys, if you guys are wondering. And Brian, it's nice to have you here, first of all, and thank you for accepting our invitation to join our podcast episode for today. So, to start off, can you tell us more about yourself, like your background before you became a VA?
Definitely. Yeah. So my name is Brian Gaboni. I'm 29 years old. I currently working here in the Philippines, specifically in Davao City. So I started my journey prior being a virtual assistant in 2012. My journey in the BPO industry began. Like many, I started as customer service representative and then navigated through several companies over the years. And then by 2019, I had worked with five different organizations and progressed to the role of a team manager. However, that year proved very challenging for me as I faced health issues at that time, including like Bell's palsy and shingles due to stress. I handled 30 agents in just one team. Um, Faced with these difficulties, I made a decision to resign. Coincidentally, 2019, the year I resigned, was also the year when news of the COVID outbreak in Wuhan, China began. So it was during this period of reflection and change that I resolved to shift gears and pursue a career as a virtual assistant. I want to emphasize that when I embarked on my journey as a virtual assistant, I proactively sought opportunities online. I don't have anything. I don't know anything about being a virtual assistant. So independently, I established my presence across various platforms. I asked some of my friends, scoured through the social media, and navigated the digital landscape in search of a meaningful position. Before I found Sphere Rocket, I secured an independent client who provided valuable training. So I think this is where it started, marking the beginning of my role as a listings and transaction coordinator. Although the journey was challenging for me because it's my first time for that particular being a virtual assistant or being a transactions coordinator. So my commitment, perseverance, and with diligent efforts allowed me to collaborate with this client for over a year. And then I found Sphere Rocket in the year 2020. As fate would have it, I found the Sphere Rocket post on LinkedIn. So prompted by this discovery, I applied and like others underwent the standard recruitment process of Sphere Rocket. Coincidentally, I found myself swiftly moving through the process. And uh, in time, I was able to get an interview with a client, whether, well, that client was from Arizona. That was my first client with Sphere Rocket. And I worked with them for a year. And then my current client now with Sphere Rocket, which is still a real estate broker and located in Michigan.
I have to say, that is quite a story, and you are well versed in telling your story. You come really prepared and telling your background and history. Like,
Yeah.
this is something you say in like TED Talks and everything to get to your story. But I mean, first of all, I hope that you've recovered from all of the health issues that you've accumulated before, like the Bell's palsy thing. I know how serious it can get. I mean, I wouldn't guess that you, based on how you speak and how you look like, that you were through that. And You know what they say? I don't know if it's a misconception or not, but they said for the most part in the BPO industry, it could get, or most of the time, it would be really stressful to, especially to maintain a healthy work-life balance. You think that it's because of the kind of work you were doing, where you were, you accumulated this negative health issues, or is it more of like a genetic kind of thing for you?
Definitely, it's within the work. It's a work issue.
Mhm.
Because I became a support in the BPO industry that
Mhm.
year. Then I applied for a team manager position, and
Mhm.
that particular account was pretty new. So we have to
Mhm.
start. We have to start. We have to train those agents. We have to
Mhm.
let them learn, and then with 30 agents in just one
Mhm.
team, I handled 30 agents at that time. It was very difficult because they have different personalities. They have different learning curves. So I have to adjust.
Let's see. So yeah, a lot of pressure, a lot of tasks you needed to do, and as one of the leaders, or if not the leader itself, all the stress and pressure of the team is not performing well. It's all gonna go down on you. So you're kind of forced in a way to make sure that everything is set up. Maybe you're gonna spend like more hours than the others in management and stuff like that. But I think you were able to be successful, but at the cost of your health. So yeah, that shows the
Yeah.
importance of health in general. Because no matter how successful you are in your
Mhm.
career, but if you're gonna retire where you're barely functioning and all the health issues, then you wouldn't really enjoy the fruits of your labor. And yeah, I think that's what a lot of people should be prioritizing. And moving forward, though, so after all that, when you finally transition to becoming a VA, you've mentioned earlier, you worked independently at first until you finally found, Sphere Rocket. So comparing yourself to your first independent client and having an agency like Sphere Rocket, what was the difference in terms of the employment process and the system in general?
Well, I consider myself incredibly fortunate. As mentioned a while ago, this is my second client with Sphere Rocket. So
Mhm.
when my first client at that time needed to make changes with their because of their financial status and all those stuff, they have to let me go. Sphere Rocket was able to help me right away. They were able to put me through another training and then get me another client.
That's one of the things that's good about Sphere Rocket is that they won't stop after you lost your client. I mean, especially if you're doing good with a client, it's like it's just out of your hands, like redirection with their budget. Same with yours, or some of them that I've heard, the company actually got into bankruptcy, and it was out of your control. And of course, if Rocket saw that you were doing good, of course they're gonna refer you to another client. So that kind of gives you, or the people from Sea Rocket, some sense of job security, because job security is one of the challenges of becoming a VA, because the contracts, there's no unemployment benefits. The company
Right.
can just cut you off with the short notice, like 1 week or maybe even less at worst case. So I think that's also one of the people's concern why they're not going into the VA industry, because of job
Mhm.
security, and they tend to just stay in the corporate world. In your case, I think it's a bit special because you left your position before because of your health concerns, which is really
Mhm.
good that you were able to realize that, not because of the salary and everything, but you were more focused on your future. So, with all that into account, was your health getting better since you started becoming a VA in general?
Definitely, definitely. My health is getting better. I actually already recovered. A year I was working as a virtual assistant. I already recovered. Not only that, because being a virtual assistant, I think again, it's very. I was incredibly fortunate because not only have I acquired my own car, and actually two cars already in total. I sold the first one along with a motorcycle as well. I have also been able to contribute significantly at home. I assist with groceries, bills, and stuff. Importantly, I've had like the privilege of traveling throughout the Philippines, all while balancing work commitments. So as long as our client or my client knows where I am, then they're good. Most notably, the continuous acquisition and application of new skills have been pivotal in my personal and professional growth. So when you're a virtual assistant, it's not like your client is spoon feeding you. You have to learn from scratch. So I think I'm very fortunate because or virtual assistants nowadays are very fortunate because we have all of the resources we need.
Exactly. You have all the resources, but it's just a matter of your own self motivation to go into that resources. You have Google, you have YouTube. You can attend
Mhm.
webinars. I mean, some of them are paid, but one of the good things about Sphere Rocket is we do offer trainings for free.
Right.
It doesn't. You don't need to be like an employee or hired, but Sphere Rocket just gives chance to everyone because we know that the VA industry is quite new. It's competitive. Being a VA is not something you would usually study at a school or at a course or university. So to gain experience, the best we can do to help people who to give them a chance is to host free webinars. So don't miss out on that. It's free, and it will definitely help you. I think Brian has has been able to utilize those webinars. Were you able to attend any of those?
I was able to attend once because my client is very busy during Sphere Rocket training. So when I have available time, yes.
And that is the mindset that you need to have, especially as a VA. Continuously accumulate knowledge. Do not be complacent on what you already know, but be more excited on what you wanted. Be more focused on what you could learn more because it's really fast paced as a VA. The environment here, as I've
I agree.
always continued to mention, yeah, I think Brian needed to do a lot of adjustments since working before, and you're not getting spoon fed. If there's a new task, it's not like your boss, your employer will give you like a PowerPoint presentation telling you everything, but no, you needed to do everything from scratch.
From
But was that
scratch.
any stressful for you, Brian? Because I know that was one of the stressful parts of your work before because you needed to do everything from scratch because you were just starting out. But how about starting out from scratch as a VA? What was the difference?
It was actually it's pretty hard because again from scratch you don't know where to go at first, and then you ask some a few people. You check Google, YouTube, those online platforms that are available. So you really have to learn. You really have to learn all of those skills. Right
Mhm.
now, for example, I'm a listings and transaction coordinator, so I draft contracts, all of those stuff. Then one day, my client mentioned, "Hey, do you know how to create a flyer, poster?" Well, I was thinking this is a challenge for me, so let me try. Hey, let me try doing it. So I googled what are the platforms that can be used on editing, and then I went to check YouTube as well. So I cannot say I'm an expert, but I was able to impress my client with my posters and flyers.
Exactly. You need to have that, motivation to learn that because if you're just gonna wait, okay, let's say that client gave you that task and you keep asking the client, okay, how do I do this? How do I do that? That is not good. That would be not good because the reason the client hired you is to save time, but if you needed to spend time all the time with that, then you're not gonna be that productive for him. And yeah, you need to be motivated to do all the research from yourself, which is a good thing in a lot of ways because it makes you more skilled. Learn more skills, like Brian mentioned earlier as well. It makes you develop a lot more skills rather than just what you do every day. There's new exciting tasks to do every day, which is a challenge, but again, it is better for your own career or maybe even personal growth. And now talk about your life in general as a VA. What do you think was the most positive impact in your life of working from home compared to working in the office before in the BPO industry?
Well, right now as a virtual assistant, I can manage my own time. With the BPO when I was working in the BPO industry, it was very difficult because there's like late. When I was a team manager, I not just my own attend I don't just look at my own attendance, I also look at those 30 agents attendance. So I call them prior an hour prior to shift. So it's totally different, and it's very once you start working as a virtual assistant, you'll see the a big difference working from a BPO industry or BPO perspective.
Yeah, I guess in my experience, I thought I had a work-life balance before while I was working in the office. It's not a BPO industry, but I was like, okay, I can go to work, I can buy whatever I want. When I go home, I can sleep, I can wake up early. That was like my routine. I thought that was the healthy work-life balance. But when I experienced becoming a VA agent, like working remotely, I can go to more family gatherings. I can go anywhere like you. I mean, I could be in a hotel room right now and I would still be working somewhere outside the Philippines, it's possible as long as you have a stable internet connection. And you wouldn't be able to do that properly. I mean, if you're able to do that, you need to go through a process. Like you need to file a leave and pray to God that it's gonna get accepted.
That's your
That
story.
is
So it's currently 10:15 Philippine time. So today I have a scheduled flight going to Manila at 3 a.m. Yeah. And my client knows about it because I told them I'll be attending my first concert in Manila. Yes, with
which concert was that?
Coldplay.
Again? Oh, Coldplay?
Yes,
I didn't
this
know Coldplay
Saturday.
was in Manila. Wow. Okay.
Tomorrow's their first day of concert in the Philippine Arena, and our ticket, we were able to secure a ticket on the second day.
And you know what? Brian did not need to file a leave. He just need to inform his boss. And of course, what's important is you just do the outputs. You know, if you do everything, the tasks that you're vested, that is it. You don't need to spend the entire time. And that's one of the relaxing environments in the field, working as a VA. Your clients does not necessarily needed to know that you're in front of the computer like during the entire shift. They're more relaxed. I'm not saying for all clients, but for most, from what I've heard, is okay. He's gonna give you a task, do this, do that. If you finish it, yeah, the time is yours. And with that comes a lot of trust because if the client doesn't trust you, you wouldn't. You're either gonna get cut off or you wouldn't get as much freedom. But that shows that Brian definitely has this kind of trust that he was able to go to a concert at the same time as his, shift. And I
Yeah,
think his boss is also excited. Probably your boss is gonna ask for pictures now the Coldplay concert well with
we did.
yeah, you're that close with your client. I know it's Coldplay. I mean, it's hard to find someone who doesn't like Coldplay, and I wish I could be there as well and enjoy your concert later on. And thank you for accepting the podcast invitation prior to your flight to Manila. I know it's not gonna be so long, but yeah, safe flight to you later on. And
Thank you.
Brian, yeah, and another question is, since being a VA alone is already difficult in a way that it's really competitive, and how small it is, and how many people actually wanted to land a VA job, considering all of the benefits. So, what do you think would be your advice to any potential VA so they would have a better shot at becoming hired as a VA?
Hmm. Well, I would say, cultivate your skill, your tailored niche. Know your niche within the industry. Develop a keen understanding of your strength and areas of expertise. Craft a compelling online presence by refining your profiles on various platforms, which I did when I started. Elevate your professional image by curating a portfolio that not only showcases your achievements, but also provides tangible examples of your work. Networking is also invaluable. Forge connections with fellow virtual assistants. Ask them. Don't hesitate to engage with those who have found success through Sphere Rocket or maybe even outside Sphere Rocket. The potential of collaboration and shared insights is immense. Efficient time management is paramount. Navigate your workload with precision, prioritizing your tasks to maximize productivity. And also remember, successful virtual assistance requires a blend of skills, unwavering professionalism, and of course, adaptive strategies. Dedicate yourself to a continual improvement. Again, learn, and learn. Staying proactive with your client and embracing a positive and collaborative mindset.
Definitely. Staying proactive with a client is a must because you don't see each other eye to eye physically. So he wouldn't know if you finished the task, how the task was doing. It's just up to you reporting. So always ask your client, like, hey, is there anything I can help with? Is there anything I can do? So the client knows that you're there and you actually care about being more productive, and that is crucial to a client appreciating what kind of work you're doing. So yeah, we're gonna hit it up with a short commercial break, and thank you so much for sharing so far, Brian, all of the experiences. And after this, a few seconds, we'll be back.
Ever dreamed of swapping your hectic office for a comfy home workspace? At Sphere Rocket VA, we make that dream a reality. Say goodbye to rush hours and hello to remote work. Enjoy more time with family, more time for yourself, all while building your career. Interested? Apply now at www.spherejobs.ph.
Okay, and we are back at the Sphere Rocket Podcast Network, and right now we're back with Brian, the Listings and Transactions Coordinator from the Sphere Rocket, which is hired by Sphere Rocket. And thank you so much once again for sharing all of your thoughts and your experiences. And actually, Brian, we have a surprise round right now. It's called the Lightning Round. So it's like Fast Talk. So you kind of know how that works. So just some quick questions and you needed to answer. So you think you're ready for that? Now, Brian, you ready? Okay, so for the first question that we have, day off or bonus pay? Oh, I can't hear you actually. I think there's something wrong. Are you muted?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's a lot better. So first question, day off or bonus pay?
No.
Day off or bonus pay? You choose between the two. Is it day off or bonus pay? What do you like more?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Bonus pay.
Really? Okay. I mean, you're already working from home. You can attend
Yeah.
concerts, so having a day off wouldn't be much of a difference. So I understand
Yeah.
your answer to that. What is your favorite social media platform?
Instagram.
Oh, I guess what do you usually look for in Instagram? Like food or art or photography?
Food and photography. Yeah.
I see. Because a lot of the people in the Philippines like Facebook because of the news, like gossips, but it can get too toxic. But Instagram is a more relaxed version out of those like social media toxicity. So yeah, it's a good choice.
Right.
Okay, next is call or text.
Call.
Ooh, yeah, I can see that. You're like the type of person who would like to talk verbally more than just texting. And what is your go-to or favorite midnight snack?
Ice cream.
Really? Okay. You like Baguio, you like ice cream. I guess you like everything that's cold. So, and you also like Coldplay. So, everything
Yeah.
that coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Hot or cold coffee? Also cold?
Ice coffee.
Everything that's cold.
You got it.
Okay. What is your dream country to visit?
Japan.
Okay. Have you ever been to Japan before or not yet?
Not yet.
Let's manifest this year. I mean, you're able to
Yes.
buy a car, motorcycle. Maybe next is your Japan dream. So fingers crossed, you'll get that.
Yeah,
Okay.
hopefully.
What is your most or best best online purchase or just purchase in general since you've started becoming a VA?
Apple products.
Oh, okay. Flexing some Apple products. They're not Android, but what kind of Apple product are you most proud of that you've as an accomplishment for yourself?
I think
iPhone.
yeah, an iPhone. Yeah, I've been dreaming when I was working in a BPO. I cannot afford an iPhone, so
Really? With your position before in the BPO industry?
yeah,
Okay. I mean, that definitely shows the amount of pay that our VIs are getting paid compared to in the BPO industry. I'm not saying all are getting paid less, but based on my experience, people in the VA industry are getting paid more than the average you would get paid in a corporate setup, especially where you're earning like different currencies. So that is definitely a huge upgrade in terms of yes. You're able to go to flights and Coldplay concerts. So yeah, kind of show you how much your salary is. So I hope your family doesn't find out and keep asking you for money. I'm kidding. It's all good here. Okay, and one last question. What is one word for you to describe Sphere Rock? Taking a while? Okay.
camaraderie.
Really? What's the camaraderie behind Sphere Rocket?
So last year I've met Miss Sharon. So
Mhm.
before I
Mhm.
met her, I reached out to her because there's a specific issue with a particular client. So I
Mhm.
reached out to her. She was very accommodating. So I thought she was very strict, but when she told me what to do, I was able to reach out to my co VA Sphere Rockets
Mhm.
within that client, and we were able to meet to enjoy our. I think that was our second pay with that particular client.
I mean,
So
definitely.
we developed camaraderie because of
Yes.
Sphere Rocket.
I think a lot of people has a lot of misconceptions, especially with Miss Shireen. She does strike that, a strict leader, but
Yeah.
she's just focused on attaining the goals for a Sphere Rocket. But if you met her like in events, I think you will see the more fun side of Miss Shireen, and she's definitely more down to earth than you think. She's just like that in terms of business, but yeah, she is a good leader for Sphere Rocket. So shout out to you, Miss Shireen, for building this amazing company, Sphere Rocket, and it's been awesome working for you as well. And of course, Justin as well, really fun CEO kind of guy. And yeah, that's just they are one of the foundations of Sphere Rocket. And yeah, camaraderie definitely exists in Sphere Rocket. I guess, were you able to speak in the event, like sharing your story with Sphere Rocket? I'm not sure if you were there because they were sharing some videos.
Yeah, we did a meet and greet here in Davao City last year.
Oh, I see. Maybe we'll see you in some of the videos that were posted in Sphere Rocket in the page. I'll try to look for you, Brian. And yeah, for the last part before we end the episode, maybe you want to give a shout out to your co-employees, and maybe share about the business that your client is doing and how to contact them.
So my client is a real estate broker located in Michigan, United States. They are National Mortgage Home Loans. Prior to that name, they are the GAMO team. So they have the real estate side, they have the mortgage side, and they also have a business there's 3 businesses that they have. So whenever if you're in Michigan or needed some services in Michigan real estate services, you can reach out to NMHL at mynationalloans.com.
We'll get that posted, the link, so yeah, you wouldn't misspell it just in case. And Brian, any shout outs you want to give to anyone? Your co-employers?
Sure. I would like to shout out my virtual assistants here in Sphere Rocket here in Davao City. They are actually looking forward to hear me talk in this Sphere Rocket podcast.
Okay, that's going to be an amazing experience. And who knows, if you're a VA in Sphere Rocket or aspiring to be one, maybe you're going to be the next person I'm going to be interviewing in the next episode of the Sphere Rocket Podcast Network. And Brian, it has been awesome having this episode, and hopefully the listeners were able to pick nuggets of knowledge here, and it will hopefully help them as well in their next application to be a VA. And that is it for our episode for today, and we'll see you again in the next one at the Sphere Rocket Podcast Network. Goodbye, everyone.
Do you want to apply as a Sphere Rocket virtual assistant? Well, look no further because this video is for you. I will be telling you which requirements you will need to submit in order to apply to our new website, plus a few tips and tricks to help you with your initial interview. We have achieved a better way for you to send in your application, so let's begin. Step 1. Visit our website
at www.spherejobs.ph.
Step 2. Fill in the application by inputting your full name, email, number, and other questions that you will need to answer in order to move on to the next step. Step number 3, send screenshots of your updated CV, Tony Robbins PDF result, internet speed screenshot with a minimum of 10 Mbps, a scanned copy of your government ID, and your portfolio with sample works. Step 4, click the submit button and wait patiently for our email. Now here are some tips on how to stand out during your initial interview. Tip number 1, dress up as if you were going to an in-person interview. Wearing something formal will give the interviewer a sign that you are serious about applying to this job role. Tip number 2, find a quiet space where your interview will be held. There's nothing worse than getting distracted by the noise around you and not being able to understand what the interviewer is saying. Tip number 3, be yourself and show up as confidently as you can. Know what you bring to the table and honor your worth. Interested in becoming a part of our team? Submit your application now
at www.spherejobs.ph.
Good luck!